Today, just hours ago, Elon Musk said something that changes absolutely everything. He said this after the shareholder meeting because the shareholder meeting was yesterday. And actually, I predicted this, and this is exactly what's happening. Time to pull a lot of rabbits out of the hat, says Elon Musk. This is absolutely fantastic news for all of us Tesla stock investors, and this indeed does change everything. Going forward, gone are the days when Elon Musk is not fully focused on Tesla or fully focused on kicking butt at Tesla. Because until now, if Elon Musk would have created more value for Tesla, it's like he's setting himself up for less control of Tesla overall, as well as getting paid less. Because no doubt his next compensation package would be designed based on what the present value of Tesla stock is. So if he pulled out multiple rabbits out of the hat before he got his new compensation package and Tesla stock doubles, triples, quadruples, quintuples, then he wouldn't be paid for it. And not only that, this is even worse, he wouldn't have more control of Tesla, which is really what he wants. Actually, he would basically actively be giving up some control of Tesla, because before he would officially have the new compensation package approved, creating a lot of new value doesn't give him more control, which now it will give him more control of Tesla, and he will be paid a lot of money while doing so, which will help him achieve his goals of going to Mars and establishing a human colony on Mars. And literally earlier in the last 30 days, I predicted that Elon Musk, after getting his new compensation package officially approved, he will pull out a rabbit out of a hat, and then he will do it again, and he will keep doing it if necessary. And here we go, he's officially committing to doing so. So once again, I was right, just like I was right 3 years ago when I said most likely it will drop further, so sell Tesla stock now or years later. This was when Tesla stock was $300 per share, split adjusted. And just like I was right to say this is a buying opportunity despite Tesla stock dropping 11% in a single day and everyone panicking, this is when Tesla was at $109 per share. I was also criticized quite heavily when I said it's a buying opportunity in 2023 July when Tesla stock was almost at $300 per share. I don't know what happened to that criticism. I don't hear it anymore. The big question is, what do I say now? Well, buckle up, because I believe that we will go through some major swings, not just upswings, but also downswings, and it'll be just as exciting and just as interesting as before, but actually it will be more interesting because now it's not just the Wall Street watching, it's not just investors watching, it's the whole world watching Tesla and Elon Musk now. And I believe it's just a matter of time before we go through another major jump. Today is certainly a celebration because Elon's compensation package has been approved overwhelmingly, and I totally called it. Interestingly, even the US Treasury Secretary supported Elon's pay package. Also, Tesla has officially announced that the Cybercab production will start on April 2026. No steering wheel or pedals, we'll see about that. And people, pay attention here, because when Elon Musk gives a timeline that's 1 year or more, okay, he's not exactly very good with timelines when it comes to such long timelines, but when Elon Musk says we are a few months away from solving FSD unsupervised, when I hear months, a few months, it's very different. Now, Elon is a little bit infamous for giving a 2-week timeline, which turns out to often be 4 weeks or 6 weeks, but it's not like he says it's 2 weeks and then it turns out to be 2 years. That doesn't happen. So for years it's been, we are solving FSD in about a year. Now we are solving FSD in a few months. And there's also data showing this. Tesla has revealed that owners using FSD experience just 1 crash per 4.92 million miles versus 1 crash per 700,000 miles for the US average. Now, keep in mind that even right now, if I'm going through an extremely difficult situation, occasionally I turn off FSD. It happens very rarely, but typically, normally, I do try to engage FSD, but if it just does something quickly, where it just disengages, I will just drive without FSD through that situation. And these are difficult situations where you're a lot more likely to crash. However, all of this was on FSD V13. I haven't been in situations like that on V14 yet, but from what I'm hearing from people, it seems like now when people are facing a difficult situation, they almost prefer FSD to be on because it doesn't just start doing some crazy weird stuff. It just actually can handle everything pretty all right, and it sees everything around you at the same time while you can focus on just the main thing in front of you. So for example, let's say I'm going through some super difficult intersection and multiple people are doing weird things, and then I know there's a bicycle lane on my right side, and often there are bicycles, but I can't really look in all directions. So I do like having FSD on if I'm, for example, making a right turn and I'm paying attention to the crazy guy on the left, and then I can be assured that FSD, if there is a bike, is going to see the bike. Now, I quickly look, there's no bike, but occasionally these bikes or motorcycles, they just pop out of nowhere. So not only do I feel safer with FSD on, I know it's definitely safer. But on V13, I did have a few situations where the car starts doing weird things with the steering wheel, and then I just turn it off because it freaks out my passengers. Happens very rarely though. And keep in mind, that's V13. Very, very rare. And here's one rabbit that Elon Musk wants to pull out of his hat. Musk says we are a few months away from supervised FSD being sold, and that means it's time to ramp up production. He aspires to increase production by 50% next year, exiting at an annualized rate of 2.7 million cars, maybe hitting 4 million by 2027 and 5 million by 2028. And now we have analysts predicting again that Tesla will not be limited by necessarily how fast we can ramp up production, but how fast the supply chain can keep up with Tesla's expansion. And look, James, for the longest time, he has been one of the biggest skeptics about FSD, and now he says, I agree with Elon, once FSD is approved somewhere and it works there, regulators will succumb to the data. That's an obvious conclusion. Not in every single place in the US, or in the world, but it's going to be the absolute majority. Regulatory was never the challenge, in my opinion. Performance is, says James. I totally agree with James on this one. And so Elon made a crazy announcement here. Elon Musk says in the next month or two, Tesla will allow you to text while using FSD and reduce the attention monitoring strictness. So we are going from a few months to now a very specific promise here that's supposedly a month away. And while a month could mean 2 or 3 months, it's not going to mean a year, at least not based on Elon Musk's predictions when I look at how they turned out from the past. So this statement to me, so bullish. However, Farzad points out that US driving laws do not allow you to be on your phone while behind a steering wheel and pedal. Tesla's about to enter a phase where its capabilities are ahead of societal regulations and norms, and for their full potential to be realized, regulation will need to catch up to them. Look at this. I did this myself a few days ago on video. I thanked Waymo so much for laying out the regulatory path for Tesla, and Elon Musk here is also thanking Waymo. I would like to thank Waymo for paving the regulatory path. I think Tesla will be able to deploy all the Cybercabs that we produce. So guys, let's all be gentlemen, and in the comments right now, please thank Waymo so much. We thank you, Waymo, so much for laying out all of this regulatory work, getting approvals. This is such a charitable contribution. We appreciate it so much, and you will never make money, a lot of money from these autonomous vehicles, but Tesla will, so we thank you so much. Speaking of rabbits, Elon Musk says Tesla will build a 1 million unit Optimus production line at Fremont with a 10 million unit line at Giga, Texas. Where I live here in Vancouver, Canada, I see bunnies and rabbits all over. So every time I'm going to see a rabbit now jumping outside in the park, I'm going to think of Elon and him producing 10 million robots a year. And here's why Tesla will destroy everyone regarding robot manufacturing. These are 3 things that are difficult when manufacturing robots. Number 1, engineering the hand and forearm, very hard. Number 2, vision-based AI, and there's no one else in the world that does this nowhere near as well as Tesla. Tesla has such a huge advantage here. Number 3, manufacturing competency. Tesla, when it comes to manufacturing EVs profitably, there's no one else that's even close to Tesla. Only Tesla has all 3. You miss at least one component and you can't do it. You know what's also interesting? This is maybe the first time we have heard Elon say he needs to educate the consumer on anything. Don't you think it's an interesting coincidence that Elon just got this compensation package and now he's changing his mind or is open to these other ideas? We also got a sneak peek at Tesla's next generation AI 5 chip. James is a big skeptic, but even he agrees AI 5 sounds like it will be an exciting product, and he says not sure why we even need to talk about AI 6 and AI 7 from now on, however. But James thinks that because he's not really in this for the long term. I'm in this for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years probably, possibly a lot more. I might be in this for almost my whole life. And hearing Elon talk about AI 6 and AI 7, it gives me extreme confidence and clarity that Elon Musk is planning to stick around. And not only is he planning to stick around, he's actually going to make it so Tesla keeps innovating, keeps advancing, and keeps beating everyone's butts. And even more interestingly, sounds like Elon wants to vertically integrate fab production. So that's going to be tens of billions of dollars in capex. But guess what? Tesla can do it. Anything that Elon wants to do where he needs a lot of money, I say go for it. spend all Tesla's cash. If we need to raise money, the valuation of Tesla supports it. We can raise money easily. And it's Elon Musk, so the market is going to respond positively for the most part to all of Elon's ideas. I mean, wouldn't you have liked to have invested in XAI from the very beginning instead of when it's already at hundreds of billions of dollars in valuation? The thing is, most of Elon's ideas, if he actually commits to it, they basically all work, assuming that he actually commits to it. If it's like a side thing to which he doesn't really pay much attention, okay, it may not work. But if he actually pays attention to it, his success rate is incredibly mind-blowing. If you basically look at standalone projects, every single one of them worked. Neuralink worked, Boring Company worked, XAI worked, X worked, SpaceX worked, Tesla worked. Now, of course, you sometimes have projects within those companies that don't work out, but the standalone companies, they all work out. So if a project is big enough to be worthy of a standalone company, you can rest assured that it's going to work. Or has extremely high chances of actually succeeding. By the way, this is just a complete side note. I'm not implying anything here, but TSMC's market capitalization is approximately $1.5 trillion. Tesla is currently at 1.34. Elon, you go pull out these rabbits out of the hat. You still got quite a few left if you so choose to. And this is really exciting to us Tesla stock investors. Elon Musk said, I want to try to figure out some way for Tesla shareholders to participate in SpaceX, meaning basically invest in SpaceX. I've been giving a lot of thought to how to give people access to SpaceX stock. Maybe at some point, SpaceX should become a public company despite all the downsides of being public. I've been very vocal and positive about SpaceX stock now for 2 years. And during that time, the valuation of SpaceX increased substantially. In fact, I believe in SpaceX stock so much that I had multiple calls to see if it actually makes sense to invest in SpaceX. But the problem is they take like 20% of the profits and stuff like that. I even actively consider making a fund, but that is actually quite a bit of work and I have other stuff to do. But if I can invest into SpaceX without these ridiculously large fees, then I will. We also learned more about Tesla's new lithium refinery in Texas, which will have a 50 gigawatt hour capacity initially. Oh, and we finally got a specific timeline about the Roadster. Tesla will unveil the new Roadster on April 1st. Elon, are you pulling a prank on us? Well, obviously he is. With production scheduled to start 12 to 18 months after that. Oh, well, that's going to take a while. Only Tesla would choose to unveil a product on April 1st because no one is going to be able to figure out when he's being serious and when he isn't. Elon is such a troll. Omar had a few interesting things to say about the shareholder Q&A. I'm not going to read it, but feel free to pause and read if you like. James historically has been pretty good at becoming positive when Tesla stock starts to go up and then it just keeps going up. And then when he turns negative, I feel like Tesla stock more often goes down than not. So I think he's a pretty good person to follow if you want to see what the sentiment of Tesla stock is, and look at what he's saying right now. This is probably the best shareholder meeting speech in years ever. Elon actually providing specifics and details on all the key products and projects. Why is that happening? Because Elon is actually getting what he wants, control of Tesla, while also getting paid a ridiculous amount of money at the same time, which actually is not a ridiculous amount because he will how to create value that will be 10 times more ridiculous than his pay. Now, if you look at what Tesla stock is doing right now, you will see that the buying opportunity is actually getting bigger, and that's because markets are flying partly blind amid limited economic data during the longest US government shutdown in history, leaving little clarity on the path for interest rates. We believe Congress will agree to end the government shutdown before Thanksgiving, says Gary Black. We don't share others' concerns about lofty equity valuations. The S&P 500 is trading at 22x forward earnings, which implies a forward earnings yield of 4.5% versus a 10-year treasury yield of 4.1% within the range of historic equity premiums over the past 60 years. Translation, basically, equities are not overvalued. So even if you do have a recession, it shouldn't be like a huge drop. Definitely not like 2008 or what happened in the 1920s, early 1930s. Personally, as a Tesla stock investor, I think, and this is not going to sound good, and I do not wish for this to happen, but I'm just going to state some facts here, and some people are going to be upset, unfortunately, because it's gonna sound a little cold. But I'm not trying to be mean to anyone. I'm just trying to state facts. And the fact is, if the economy absolutely collapses and crashes to a point where all the stocks crash, like 50%, 60%, 70%, like we have another 2008, let's say another dot-com bubble or another deep recession like in the 1920s or early 1930s, and if we go for something like that, which companies do you think are going to thrive the best? The companies that are led by innovators, the companies that can innovate, that can move quickly, adapt, and then provide new products, and then adapt to the current challenges. And who do you think does that better than anyone else? Elon Musk can do that better than anyone else. So even though the valuation of the stock would probably be crushed, Tesla would come out of this, and Elon Musk, not just in a thriving way, Elon would come at the very, very top, being now stronger than ever before. So in the long term, that would actually just explode the valuation, while also at the same time giving us huge buying opportunity. So this is, I think, if you are a very long Tesla stock investor like I am, this is the best possible scenario. I know for many investors, it was hard to hold Tesla stock all the way down to $100, but you look at my face, I was excited because, hey, I do have good income. So I was buying more Tesla stock, and now I look at my stock like, whoo, okay, well, this was the best thing that could have happened. Like if Tesla stock this whole time just stayed exactly at $400 per share, that would have been no fun. Okay, pay attention to this one. I promise you will like it. Tesla has started to roll out new visualization in the car screen, including a golf cart. More are expected in the future. So this is the visualization. I think the next step is to visualize Waymo cars on golf courses. Some good news for Tesla in China. We got this specific trim basically approved and ready to launch in China. And this is a bit insane. SpaceX has announced that Starlink now has over 8 million customers, up from 7 million in August and 6 million in June. Starlink added a record of 14,250 new customers on average per day since they hit 7 million, beating their previous record of 12,200. That growth rate is 17% higher than it was just 2 months ago. Imagine if you owned SpaceX stock, or specifically Starlink stock, and suddenly the growth rate improved by this much. What do you think would happen to that stock that particular day? How much would it jump? Elon, please launch this stock to the public. I want to invest. We have to talk about this. Wait until you learn what Terafab could mean for Tesla over the next 10 years. Been deep into the weeds since the call ended using the numbers Elon mentioned. If Tesla goes through with it, it's going to be one of the largest undertakings ever, and it won't get the attention of Optimus or Cybercab because it's not customer facing, but as Elon said, the limiting factor is chips and energy. Therefore, it's crucial for Tesla hitting the scale it's aiming for. And it's yet another full business line that might end up under Tesla's umbrella of startups, you know, the ones Elon has spun up from scratch. No one else spins plays like Elon and the Tesla team. Now, the critics like to bring up Tesla Solar, okay, and when they do that, I bring up Tesla Megapacks. Can we all agree that doing Megapacks was a very good idea with margins of 30% plus still? That was a very good idea to get into that business, and this could be like one of those. I'm not saying the margins are going to be so ridiculous, but it's a good idea to try. Now, interestingly, none of the Tesla future is truly consumer-centric over the next 5 to 10 years. It's all B2B. Cars and dishwasher Optimus are essentially retail advertising. Energy equals utilities. Optimus equals industry. Robotaxi equals public transport. Semi equals commercial transport. But for now, Tesla does sell a lot of cars to consumers, and it will be so for the foreseeable future for now. Now, at the shareholder meeting, we had 2 robots dancing. Here's one, and here's the other one. Elon was pretty happy. I like the happy Elon. By the way, there's a change in the Cybercab prototype. If you remember earlier, the windows had frames, but now they are basically frameless, as you can see right here. And Tesla definitely leveled up their shareholder meetings. This is the shareholder meeting from 2018, and here it is now. I like this new one. And Elon wants to do like an arena or something for future shareholder meeting so more people can come. I would like that. And here we have new pictures of the updated Cybercab interior, which looks to be the production version, so some updates. And the redesigned semi-truck has the new Tesla design language, which is more similar to the Model Y headlights here. And Elon basically confirmed that Tesla is going to use the unboxed manufacturing process for the Cybercab. One Cybercab will be able to roll off the production line in under 10 seconds versus 34 seconds for the Model Y. And buckle up, people, because mass production of the Cybercab starts in 5 months. And like James said, Tesla did share quite a few specific details about everything that's important. Tesla building a chip fabrication facility that was Wow. We also learned that robotaxi service will be rolling out next in Miami, Dallas, Phoenix, and Las Vegas. And check this out. First FSD regulatory approval in Europe expected in Q1 2026. Elon Musk also revealed that the Cybercab and the Tesla Semi will use 4680 cells next year. And this is the first look at Tesla's Optimus production line, significantly larger Gen 3 production line coming in 2026. Tesla's goal is $20,000 COGS per robot at scale, which everyone else is really going to struggle with. But Tesla, I believe, is going to have the most value for the price, just like they do with vehicles. Tesla is better at that than anyone else. Also, Elon specified that there will be no safety riders in Austin by the end of this year. Again, when Elon Musk talks about timelines that include years or a year, he's a bit optimistic, but this is basically 2 months. So maybe not by the end of the year, but by February of next year, very likely. And I think the moment they do that and the moment they feel really safe with that, they can scale the fleet fast. I definitely have to say that one of my favorite moments was the Optimus robot dancing after Elon Musk's 2025 CEO Performance Award actually passed. And it was not just the robot dancing, we saw Elon Musk dancing too. But look, these moves are pretty good, and like Elon Musk just said, there's no wires. And then there was another spotting of Tesla testing the Cybercab at Tesla's Fremont factory. This was from yesterday. You can see the vehicle right there. And then Cathie Wood was on TV before the shareholder meeting saying, we have a 2030 price target of $2,600 per share. 90% of that is a function of robotaxis. To the extent that humanoid robots evolve faster than we are expecting, that price target goes up. A $2,600 stock price target would make Tesla an $8.7 trillion company. So this is what Cathie Wood is thinking just about robotaxis and FSD. So that price target is going to go up the moment Elon Musk proves and shows to all of us that, hey, look, this Optimus bot thing is going to happen. And Elon Musk has done the same thing already with EVs before, and then he has done it again with FSD and then Megapacks. And outside of Tesla, he has done it multiple times with XAI, with SpaceX, with Neuralink, with a Boring Company. He has such a track record that it's just unbeatable. So one thing is almost certain, and that is Cathie Wood is going to increase her price target for Tesla stock again. And it's already at $2,600 per share. Guys, this will be such an exciting journey over the next 5, 10, 15 years. You want to subscribe, like this video, and make sure you don't miss a single upload, because this will be quite a ride. And I will be here reporting and giving you the news about Tesla. My name is Matt Posius, all in Tesla stock in my stock portfolio, and I will see you in the next video, probably on Monday. Thank you so much for watching.